Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Riley. If this is your first time seeing my face here on YouTube, go subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video. Today we're going to be breaking y'all some P. Diddy news. This is going to be his rivals reacting to his most recent news coming out with the sex trafficking and all that. If you guys haven't known, P. Diddy is under a whole bunch of investigations and lawsuits right now. House is getting raided. And yeah, we're going to have to just jump right in and cover some of that for you guys today. Let's go. Alright, y'all know the drill. If we're going to hold this clip, make sure you're comfortable, grab something to snack on or something to sip. Let's enjoy this video together.
The continued fallout from the sex trafficking probe against Sean Diddy Combs has his rivals seemingly rejoicing. From 50 Cent to Suge Knight to Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day and former Diddy music collaborator Mace, all are reacting to the federal government's reported sex trafficking probe against the hip-hop mogul. Their feud.
Man, before we hop in this, y'all think P. Diddy is guilty? I seen a whole bunch. I ain't gonna get into that. Like I said, go ahead and comment down below. Y'all think P. Diddy's guilty or not?
Against Diddy have ranged from business disputes to personal disputes, some even turning violent. One of the longest standing beefs is probably with Death Row founder Marion Knight, better known as Suge Knight.
Well,
the feud could be traced back to the early 90s, seemingly advancing the beef between East Coast rappers and West Coast rappers. The two reportedly used to be friends, but that relationship was never the same after Suge's friend and security guard Jake Robles was shot and killed outside an Atlanta nightclub in '95 after reportedly getting into an argument with someone from Diddy's bad boy entourage. Diddy, who was reportedly going by Puffy during that time, was celebrating Jermaine Dupri's birthday with members of his entourage at an after party. Suge Knight was also in attendance and partying with his entourage when an argument broke out between both sides. An Atlanta PD officer who was working off-duty security for the party told the LA Times police escorted Puffy and his guests outside the club and thought the coast was clear, allowing Knight and his entourage to leave. He told the Times all of a sudden one of Puffy's men came around the corner with a gun. And by the time the officer/security guard got back to the front of the club, Suge's friend Jake Robles was shot multiple times. Robles died weeks later. Diddy denied his involvement in the shooting, but Suge reportedly held him responsible for it. Just a month prior to the shooting, Suge Knight had insulted the Bad Boy founder at the 1995 Source Awards, when Knight openly criticized Diddy's ad-libs on his artists' songs and dancing in their videos. Knight went on stage saying, quote, "Anyone out there who want to be a recording artist and want to stay a star and don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the records, dancing, come to Death Row." That same year, Knight offered to post bail for rapper Tupac Shakur if the rapper agreed to sign with Death Row. Tupac agreed, which would later set the stage for the release of All Eyes on Me and the Don Illuminati. Tupac and Puffy's best friend Notorious B.I.G. were once friends, but their relationship also soured as
P. Diddy lawsuit, bro. Come on now.
Amplifying the East Coast and West Coast beef. Both would take shots at one another through songs, and the feud would turn violent, even deadly. Tupac was shot and killed after leaving a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas in September of '96. Biggie was shot and killed in Los Angeles just months later in March of '97. No one was ever charged for the '97 death of Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G. However, in September of last year, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who was allegedly one of the last living witnesses to the fatal shooting of Tupac, was arrested and charged with the rapper's murder more than because he wrote a damn dumbass book. Rapper was gunned down in Vegas. Davis reportedly told LAPD investigators in 2008 Diddy offered him $1 million for Tupac's assassination. And while that claim has been unsubstantiated and Diddy has denied all involvement in Tupac's murder, is it possible the recent sex trafficking probe has anything to do with Keefe D's September arrest? Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani says not likely.
I think the Diddy investigation likely started when ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura filed that bombshell lawsuit in November. Of course, Diddy settled it the following day, but it was too late. Once that civil complaint was filed, the allegations were public, and other people started to come forward. We saw 3 or 4.
So he took care of that the next day, man. He's trying to cover that up quick.
The biggest one after Cassie was when Little Rod filed, and I mean, the allegations were salacious. And this was someone, Cassie, who had an 11-year relationship with Diddy. She knows where the bodies are buried, and she's talking about these terrible sex acts. She herself was drugged and raped. She was forced to have sex with male prostitutes. And of course, there was the allegations of sex with minor victims. I think that's what likely got
Golly.
the feds interested in the case. Now, if you're a prosecutor
What in the world's
or
going
you're
on at P.
Diddy's
Diddy's
defense
house, man?
attorney, you have to anticipate the defense that this is just a disgruntled ex. This is someone
Now, who
that,
going to a
you
P.
know,
Diddy house party, bro? Let me know.
fabricated allegations because of money. But when
Shit,
victim
I know
after
my ass ain't going
victim
to no P. Diddy
comes
house party.
forward and they corroborate the story, I think you have enough probable cause to open an investigation and get that search warrant. Now, when agents raided the home, I think they were looking for those videos. So, two categories of videos. There were allegations that Diddy himself would videotape these sex acts, but also that he had hidden cameras all throughout his home and that they captured some of this unlawful conduct. So I think that's what law enforcement agents were
So
looking
like
for.
another Epstein
In light
Island
of
type of
last week's
deal.
federal raids on Diddy's home, Suge Knight, who is serving a more than 20-year sentence for manslaughter, commented on his longtime rival, seemingly pointing to Diddy spending time behind bars. In an outtake from his Collect Call podcast with Dave Mays, the Death Row founder gave his thoughts and prayers to Diddy's children. But Suge seemingly referred to the raids as a bad day for hip-hop, blasting the Bad Boy founder for giving hip-hop a bad image. In the clip, Suge said, "Diddy, your life is in danger because you know the secrets, who's involved in that little secret room you guys are participating in." Suge then warned his rival, "They're going to get you if they can." He said, "I turned myself in. Sometimes you got to face the music." Suge isn't the only rival of Diddy's commenting on the sex trafficking probe. Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent, has also been feuding with the Bad Boy founder for nearly 20 years. When Diddy's homes were raided, 50 Cent posted this message to Instagram, seemingly taunting his rival.
I know this shit is going to be funny, bro. 50 Cent always coming out. Said, no, it's not Diddy do it. It's Diddy done. They don't come like that unless they got a case. Damn, he said it ain't no Diddy do it. It's Diddy's done. And 50 Cent always coming out with shit like this.
Done. They don't come like that unless they got a case. The feud between the two seemingly goes back to 2006, when 50 Cent released a diss track called The Bomb, where he claimed Diddy knew who shot and killed rapper Notorious B.I.G. in '97. Diddy has frequently denied he had any information about his best friend's killer. Then in 2014, the feud between Diddy and 50 continued into their business ventures, when both represented competing vodka brands. Over the years, 50 Cent has also made jabs about Diddy's sexuality, often referring to the mega producer as fruity.
Look at that
During a
shit. Hell yeah, look what he's wearing, bro.
Champs, 50 Cent said when he says things, he doesn't
fruity.
know what he be saying is like fruity. He says to Fabulous, "Me and you, we need a party." When people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. That thought was echoed last year when 50 Cent spoke about
me and you need a
Diddy's
party.
infamous parties.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. To hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What you talking about? I mean, look, if you into that, I'm fine with it. To each his own. I'm just saying, this ain't my kind of party. I like it. It's uncomfortable.
So could those in attendance
I've
of the
heard
infamous
hella
parties
stories
be
about
called to speak with
kinda-
federal
who's that?
investigators as potential witnesses? Romani says some famous names
Prince
should
George?
be concerned.
Oh,
So
look
when
like
there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying that these allegations are necessarily true. Obviously, they have to be proven, but there are a lot of people that are perpetuating these rumors. And whether it's Cat Williams, whether it's 50 Cent, whether it's someone else, there seems to be a lot of legs to these rumors. And, you know, I'm someone that's a former federal prosecutor. I represent victims now. I tend to believe victims, especially when multiple victims are coming forward and they're telling the same story. So, you know, if you're involved in Bad Boy or Diddy's Inner Circle, or you've been present at these parties, I don't care if you're Justin Bieber, I don't care if you're Usher, Cuba Gooding Jr., Prince Harry. I mean, these are a lot of names that have been thrown
Prince
about.
Harry is
I would
crazy.
be very concerned.
What the hell?
You may be wrapped up in a big...
And what, didn't Prince Harry just get divorced recently, bro? That's suspicious, man. I don't know any of the details about it, but
with the R. Kelly case,
I think his ass name is just Harry, or was he the
rich and famous and powerful people are
with royalty family?
engaged in this type
I think
of
it's the other way
sexual
around.
activity. They're not doing it alone, right? Obviously, Epstein had Ghislaine Maxwell. She was convicted and sent to federal prison. And we know there's a lot of allegations right now against Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Horam, that she was involved in procuring some of these victims. There's allegations that Diddy's own sons, Justin and others, were involved in some of this.
I heard some stories about that as well.
Necessarily true, but usually
him and his son has
in
been
these
on some
types of
weird
cases,
shit.
People that have money, they're using others to groom and entice and solicit these victims and to get them. And if you're talking about these massive parties, and we've all seen the pictures, there's dozens of people at these parties. What did they know? When did they know it? And what did they see? And if they saw these sex acts and worse participated in, they're either witnesses or even worse, they're criminals and co-defendants.
When Diddy's ex girlfriend Cassie Ventura sued Diddy in November, 50 Cent said his production company was working on a documentary about the sexual assault allegations against Combs. When Diddy stepped down as chairman of his Revolt company, 50 Cent tweeted he had interest in taking over the media organization, writing, quote, "I'll buy that from you, Playboy, for the low, because you know Cadillac and AT&T gonna pull out. I'll give you a few dollars for it now. Sell it to me, then we can be friends. I'm serious. Call my phone." The trolling from
This
50
guy.
Cent continued when the mother of his child, Daphne Joy, was named in the Rodney Jones $30 million civil lawsuit against Diddy. In the documents, Joy was referred to as one of the alleged sex workers Diddy had on a monthly
Oh
stipend.
shit!
So sexual activity between
And
consenting
50 Cent
adults is not
married
illegal.
that?
Paying your sex partner
What?
can be illegal, but we're
That's
talking about
crazy,
prostitution. It's not
man.
a very serious offense. Trafficking involves really one of two things: force or the threat of force, right? Kidnapping, someone lacking free will, or minors. And minors cannot consent to sexual activity under any circumstances. So if you have that force or something akin to force or minors, that's when it becomes trafficking. That's when it becomes a federal crime.
Previously, in September of 2022, 50 Cent accused Daphne Joy of gallivanting with Diddy at the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
That man
And when
sucks.
she was named in Jones's suit as an alleged sex worker, 50 Cent posted this to Instagram with the caption saying in part, "I didn't know you was a sex worker, you little sex worker, LOL." Daphne Joy has since denied the sex worker claims, posting this statement to her social media. She says, "I'm deeply hurt by the lies in the Rodney Jones lawsuit. The claim that I'm a sex worker is 100% false and character assassination. I'm retaining an attorney to explore all legal remedies against both Rodney and his attorney." In light of the allegations, 50 Cent is
Ooh.
reportedly
Apparently
seeking
it's
sole
false.
custody of his son that he shares with Daphne Joy. Joy slammed her ex 50 Cent on social media, writing in part, "Everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. How would you feel if Sire was the one in handcuffs for nothing?" Diddy's former mentee and former Bad Boy rapper Mace also seemingly weighed in on the feds raiding Diddy's homes. A day after the raids, Mace told his co-host Cameron during an episode of their podcast Come and Talk to Me, "It's amazing that all of this would transpire on that day. That's eerie, man." The day he's referring to is the anniversary of Life After Death, the last album posthumously released by Diddy's best friend, Notorious B.I.G. Mace and Diddy have what some would call an embattled history. Mace previously was signed to Bad Boy Records in the 90s and early 2000s. That relationship would forever change after various business disputes. When signed to Bad Boy, the multi-platinum rapper gave his publishing rights to Diddy for a reported $20,000. But when he attempted to get his catalog back years later, he publicly slammed Diddy when the mogul turned down Mace's $2 million offer to buy back his publishing. Diddy ultimately gave the publishing rights back to Mace. And Mace isn't the only former artist under Diddy's Bad Boy Records that has spoken out since the federal raids on Diddy's homes. Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day released a statement saying, quote, "What you sow, you shall reap." O'Day has been vocal about the Bad Boy founder even prior to the raids. In December of 2022,
Who's this?
O'Day said she was fired from Danity Kane in 2008 because she wasn't willing to do what was expected of her, not talent-wise, but in other areas. She added that she wasn't the only girl that was put in those types of positions. When Diddy announced his plans to
was
reassign
running for Diddy,
publishing
I guess,
rights to
back in,
select Bad Boy
early
artists,
2000s,
including
mid
Mace,
2000s.
Danity Kane, Faith Evans, and Notorious B.I.G., O'Day claimed that deal came with strings attached. The strings being non-disclosure agreements the artist had to sign. O'Day said the NDA agreement included the artist would not disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, Diddy's mother, Justin Combs Music, EMI Publishing, or Sony ever in public. And despite Diddy offering the publishing rights back to groups like Danity Kane, O'Day said that doesn't equal more money for the group, adding at the time the deal would have only brought her less than $1,000 in royalties. So in light of last week's raids and the alleged sex trafficking probe, is an arrest looming for the Bad Boy founder? Romani says absolutely.
I wouldn't be
His
surprised
ass, his
if
ass is
we
going in
saw
for
an
something,
arrest
man.
and an indictment being unsealed in a matter
He's
of
going in there
days
for
or weeks.
something.
Usually, when law enforcement executes a search warrant like this at the federal level, they're working hand in hand with prosecutors. So they've drafted an indictment. based on the cooperator testimony, that witness testimony that they already have, whether it's informal meetings of the U.S. Attorney's Office or formal testimony before the grand jury. I think what they're looking for is that video evidence. If it corroborates what the victims have
You can't
said,
lie in no damn
and we're going to
video
look at
unless you
potential sex
stage it.
trafficking charges, production of child pornography, drug trafficking, weapons. It's going to be a sprawling indictment, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a RICO type conspiracy, because that's what the federal prosecutors used in the R. Kelly case.
He says if the case develops into
gonna
serious
bring down
charges
10
and a
people, bro,
conviction
10 or
for the
more.
hip-hop mogul, Diddy
With everybody
could
doing
face
that shady
hefty
shit.
sentences, putting him away for decades.
You know, I do see Diddy
That's a
going
damn
on the
sting.
offense. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Look, let's not forget, he's been charged before, obviously much less serious crimes, but the New York nightclub shooting with J-Lo, right? He beat that case. Those were weapons charges, there were bribery charges. The allegations were that Diddy actually shot the victim and that he bribed his security guard to take the fall for it. But he won that case.
The
And I
hell?
think in this case as well,
'Cause he
I'm not
got
saying
money,
he's
that's
gonna
why.
win necessarily, but he's going to fight. And the reason he's going to fight is, one, he cares about his reputation, he cares about his empire. And I can't see a situation where there's any type of possible deal, because when you're talking about sex crimes under federal law, depending on the age of the victim, it's 10 or 15 years for each count. Production of child pornography, and these are mandatory minimums. That means the judge can't go lower than these numbers. You know, the max obviously is
Yeah,
life.
that's
Same with
wild.
the production of child pornography, you're talking about mandatory minimums of 15 years. So
15
he
years
can't
system.
take a deal. He won't
No
really
matter
be
what.
offered a deal. So he's going to come out swinging, and
No
very
matter
few
what.
cases go to trial, but I
Ooh,
fully
that's-
expect this to be one of them.
And with the
That's
once
extent, man.
seemingly
Y'all better
untouchable figure now
better
under
keep
a
that in the
mountain
back
of
of your head,
legal
man.
battles, Romani credits
Y'all trying to be a
survivors
sick
for
ass.
speaking out to hold alleged perpetrators accountable.
I think the tide has turned, and now victims are coming forward. They're empowered. Prosecutors are taking these cases a lot more seriously.
Damn, damn
Maybe they were
rings.
risk
That's
averse, so
badass.
they didn't necessarily want to bring a case based on the testimony of one victim. But as victim after victim comes forward and alleges the same conduct, you're seeing prosecutors be more aggressive. So, you know, maybe this was one of the worst kept secrets here in Hollywood and Miami and New York and elsewhere. But I think those secrets are going to see the light of day, and see that light of day very soon.
Man, everything you do in the shadows, dark, good, bad, it'll come up. Sooner or later, it'll come to light. Just gotta give it time. You might be dead. You may not be, but it'll come up.
Through his lawyer,
That's a
Diddy has
promise.
denied any wrongdoing. His lawyer called the raid a gross overuse of military-level force, adding there was no excuse for the excessive show of force exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Reporting for Law and Crime.
That's a wrap. Man, I don't know. These allegations are coming in by the dozen. You know what I mean? I mean that's common for stuff like this happening. People all over the world's gonna say it's happened to them too, right? But if he's had secret cameras all in his house, and I'm hearing stories that he's having like Prince Harry, like people are coming over to these house parties, right? If they're doing stuff with these minors or this and that, man, in those back rooms on video, that's where that RICO charge is going to come in. They're going to start bringing in handfuls of people. It's going to be just like the Epstein Island shit leaking out. It's crazy how they're both happening at the same time, but hey, man, stay tuned because we're going to be having some crazy content on this channel. Make sure we're covering all the local news as soon as it drops. So let's go ahead and roll this outro. Let's go. Alright, y'all, we're going to wrap this one up. If you enjoy this type of content, I'm going to link a place right here in the video. It's going to have all the reactions on there for y'all to check out. We drop a video every single day, all of 2024. So definitely smash the bell so you don't miss none of my future content. And go check out yesterday's video if you haven't already, because that one was a banger. And you're not going to miss it, I promise y'all. We got a little giveaway up as well. I was talking about at the start of the video. Once we reach 500 subscribers, we're giving away a couple of $50 gift cards for you guys. So if y'all trying to make some free money, all you gotta go down to the bottom of this video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and you're automatically entered. Easy as that. And we'll go ahead and catch y'all tomorrow's episode. Peace.